A Charlotte man is a living, breathing example of being a survivor. Nearly a decade ago, his basketball career ended abruptly with a near-death experience on the court.
But as Queen City News reporter John Lee tells us, he found new life with a mission that is bigger than sports.
I did not see the light, but I was at peace.
We've all heard that time is of the essence, the understatement of a lifetime, especially when it's your life on the line.
There's a lot of things I don't remember.
At places like Queen's University, Omar Carter's story breathes life into a teachable moment.
So I went to App State. I played college basketball, and I also played professionally. The response that I have got from telling my story helps me continue the mission. And I had a cardiac arrest. My heart stopped for 13 minutes. I was in a coma for 3 days. I was passing it to my friend, he passed it back to me, and that's when I collapsed.
He went down in July of 2013 during a game at the Grady Cole Center in Charlotte. Carter says most were afraid to help because they weren't CPR certified.
So clinically speaking, at 13 minutes that my heart stopped, I was completely dead.
He recalls a sense of peace during that 780 seconds.
I was on the beach, just kind of relaxing, and I remember just next being at kind of fenced in almost at a Fisher-Price play area.
During that time, ICU cardiac nurse Kelly Thomas was among the few who came to his rescue and did chest compressions and quickly got help to locate a defibrillator.
3 days later, after I woke up from my medically induced coma, the doctor said it was like it never happened. So I woke up, didn't have to go through any rehab. I started my mental journey, if you will, to recovery.
As an athlete, he once assumed he had all the time in the world. At Charlotte Christian, he played with close friend and now NBA legend Stephen Curry. After starring at Charleston Southern and Appalachian State, Carter competed professionally in Brazil. But the cardiac arrest was the end of his career.
My mother was trying to figure out, okay, how can I get my son back active? Right? How can I get him out of this depression, out of this slump of what I went through? She said I should start a foundation. When I hear the clicking is a couple of things. One, that means I'm going deep enough.
And today, the beat goes on.
As a fellow athlete, I don't want to scare us, right? But there are real life situations that happen.
The Omar Carter Foundation raises awareness about cardiac health, providing CPR and AED education to athletes and anyone else willing to learn.
Bystander CPR is just basically you and I able to teach CPR if somebody were to go down. Certification is more so for lifeguards, anybody that's in the hospital. And that's what we're teaching them today, just to do something rather than nothing. So if we could pair up to a dummy.
The Queen's University softball team attended one of his 45-minute sessions on campus.
We're just faking like this is a live person.
And you might say the class was rated BG.
And then I just go to the beat, staying alive. My singing is terrible, but I'm going to sing for you. It's just ha, 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 staying alive, staying alive.
Just, I feel like taking his bad situation and making sure that everybody is educated.
Y'all ready to walk?
Yeah,
let's walk.
Let's do it.
Recently, the first Omar's Walk at Queen's U helped spread his message.
This is near and dear to like a lot of our hearts. I met a couple of survivors.
October is Sudden Cardiac Arrest Awareness Month.
You had your cardiac arrest October.
Yeah, I see. I like to kickstart things. You know, I like to really get into
Look
it.
at you.
At the event, we overheard a poignant exchange.
But just what happened? Because I always like to hear.
Omar hears the story of a fellow survivor.
It was like a perfect storm, the doctors call it. So I was down for about, well, I had the phone call. I was 6 minutes, 27 seconds out.
Wow.
3, 2, 1.
So far, the Omar Carter Foundation has given CPR training to close to 20,000 people. That includes student athletes at Queen's University, Davidson College, and App State. Cardiologist Dr. Rohit Matha is the foundation co-chair.
The big thing is, less than 40% of people who have an arrest actually get CPR. CPR is cheap, easy, simple to do, and profoundly impactful.
Omar's walk went on for a symbolic 13 minutes. Now, in basketball terms, that's 1 minute more than a quarter of a pro game. Omar has made the most out of the years that, in a sense, feel like overtime.
My life is the where it needs to be. and that's educating others. That's being able to teach CPR and AD awareness. 3, 2, 1, switch. But to be honest with you, I think it's more than that, right? I think it's being an example to, when something tragic happens, you don't have to just, wallow to the side, kind of be in your feelings. We're gonna do it one more time.
Most of us who would have something as catastrophic as this wouldn't recover from this psychologically for a long time. And for him to be able to recover that quickly, I think is a testament to his strength of will and kind of his big heart.
So you want to try to get the click because that means you're going deep enough.
That's powerful to me just because he's turning something that could have killed him into like saving possibly millions of lives.
For a man who devoted so much of his life to basketball, the pivot is powerful.
There is meaningfulness outside of what you thought was going to happen. What I thought was going to happen was basketball, and I was able to go down this path.
Now he races to empower as many as he can to save lives. Because as he's learned, time is of the essence. In Charlotte,
3, 2, 1. Okay, we can stop.
John Lee, Queen City News.